you're an anime tourist, or at least you used to be one. Anime tourism, that's the new hot thing that's taking over Twitter and TikTok by storm. Maybe not anymore since I'm kind of late. And it all stemmed from this video made by the Anime Men. I'm sure you've seen it and heard about it. They just rank all the popular animes from the past to now. As you can guess, they didn't really have the best takes, especially for the older anime. They were playing it on 2x speed, sleeping, playing on their phones, playing with their nuts. And I get it, man. I do it too. I turn mine into a water catcher in the shower. But just cut it out of the dang video, man. Nobody's trying to see that. They're saying romance and slice of life have no substance, as if substance is just aura farming and good animation. They didn't know Goku had a tail. They give my goat Doraemon fucking F tier. They definitely set themselves up for failure. They make a couple of these takes and the rest of the video is so much easier to hate on. And the anime community is just toxic enough to cook them because of it. I mean, they say that they're just watching the first episodes, but they outright say that some of these properties are straight up bad, without giving any context to what was going on in the world when these animes came out, the limited technology that these animators had to use, or barely any acknowledgement that some of these shows that they were ranking were pioneers of the entire medium. But I do gotta give them props because later on they did make a pretty solid video that tackled a lot of these complaints head on. But I'll save that for later in the video because for now I want to talk about what elevated this whole anime tour situation to a bigger discussion. Joey Bazinga, Joey Bazinga, otherwise known as the Anime Man, made a video about the Anime Men. Not to be confused with the Anime Man, who's Joey Bazinga, who made a video about the Anime Men, who they should be mistaken for. So in Joey's video, he kind of references the ranking video, not by name, but he kind of uses it as a stepping stone to get into a rant about the anime tourism quote-unquote problem. Now, I don't really watch the Anime Man. I don't remember the last time I sat down and purposefully watched a video of his, except for a clip where on his podcast they were saying that One Piece wasn't political. Come on, man, like really? Anyways, even I know that he has a pretty big platform on the space because he's been around for a while. And so I think this is kind of the biggest takeoff point for the term anime tourist, which he describes as someone who made fun of anime before COVID, who then turned around and changed their mind. The people who used to make fun of you for watching anime now would make fun of you for watching the wrong anime, as he says. And the internet itself has a more robust definition, adding on something to the tune of an anime tourist being someone who would kind of come in out of nowhere and prop their feet up on the table. Not really liking anime, but just hopping on a trend, but still wanting anime to adhere to their quote-unquote morally superior values. And now I want to make this abundantly clear. If that value is you wanting to talk about how weird it is that a 5-year-old has an upskirt shot, that is a very valid criticism. I'm hoping nobody here is advocating for something like that, but you know, if you're watching that, dude, you're a fucking renegade. You're off the fucking map. You're a weirdo. But yeah, that's basically the general definition. I've seen more extreme definitions made by some fucking wacko that are just literally rage bait. Like it's meant to stir the pot for some reason. But for the rest of the video, that's the definition I'm gonna stick with. Joey goes on to compare anime tourism to the Columbus era, comparing the colonization of the Native Americans to this tourism thing, which I don't know was the best thing to compare it to, since that's kind of a surefire way to just kick the beehive for no reason, because a lot of people got mad that he even referenced it in the first place. Look, I genuinely don't think that Joey Bazinga was trying to invalidate what happened to the Native Americans with his video about people scrutinizing busty cartoons. That is probably the last thing he wanted to do in his mind at all, in any capacity. And if this is something that you're nitpicking, I don't really think that it's relevant to the conversation that we're having at all in the first place. I think that he was just trying to cling on to something to try to get his point across, and he just so happened to cling on to the most extreme thing out of everything he could have clung on to instead. But you know, anyways, I don't think you care about that type of thing unless you live like right in here, in this shithole. He goes on to say that there are some pros. He thinks that anime tourism has led to anime taking itself more seriously, so bigger budgets, better movies, better animation, which I think is pretty good. He goes on to say that he thinks that anime tourist bullies, or anyone who bullies anyone on anime opinions at all, shouldn't be taken seriously because at the end of the day, it's just opinions about cartoons. The last thing he says is that if you have opinions, you should express them, but you shouldn't be surprised at criticism. Again, referring to the anime men, Joey saying that if you don't like anime or respect anime, don't make an anime tier list. And I gotta say, they kind of did shit on Astro Boy of all things. And I never watched Astro Boy, but I did watch Pinocchio 3000, which is probably close enough. Even I know that Astro Boy had a giant influence on the entire anime industry as a whole that we still feel today. And here's what I think about the whole anime tourist thing in general. First of all, I do want to say that I don't think anyone should be putting their opinions on a pedestal. I think the second you become someone who's like, your opinions are inferior to mine and I'm superior, then, you know, you're just kind of an a-hole at that point. Like, if that's how you talk to your friends in real life, if you even have them, I don't think they like you. Really. I think Joey was right in the way that he said that everybody was once an anime tourist, which I think he meant that everybody used to be new to the space. Because like I was an anime tourist. Actually, I was in the womb. I was watching on a tablet. I was watching my little sister could have taken this cute of a shit on my doorstep. I'm actually the real elite here, actually, everyone. I'm probably the #1 anime fan in the planet. I don't think it's such a bad thing that new people are getting into anime. Well, maybe there's a distinction between someone getting into it and someone who's a tourist, but I think it's cool that me and my friend Nick, who is like kind of like a dude bro. Well, actually, Nick is actually really smart. I'm sorry, Nick. He's really smart. But he didn't like anime before, and now he does. So now I have something else to talk to him about whenever we, do shit. And yeah, he watches it in dub because that's the most accessible way for him to watch it. That's completely fine. If this was 10 years earlier, I would be A, shitting all over him for watching dub, and B, maybe I would be mad at this whole anime tourist thing too. And right now, if anything, I'm just maybe annoyed a little bit. Just kind of more about the fact that there's even a war happening between the old heads and the new gens. Like, if you're in anime TikTok long enough, you're just gonna have a headache. I think that we have to keep in mind that the new people coming into anime now are majority. A lot of them are kids, like middle school, high school. Not saying that you have bad takes just because you're young. There's definitely a lot of younger people who are smarter than me because I don't even remember how to do long division. But if there's literal children among us, they're gonna say childish things, They're gonna think that they have better taste than you. They're gonna think their opinion matters more than yours. And that's what we thought when we were kids. We thought we knew the world, right? At least a lot of us did. And the second that we graduated, we got fucked. We got fucked. We got fucking fucked. And so I think that maybe we should be a little bit more graceful, a little bit more mindful that the person that you're arguing with might just be 16. Now, if they're being an asshole, just call them an asshole, because if you call them a tourist as an insult, it kind of ricochets and hits like an innocent new gen fan. And with the definition being so fluid right now, they might think you're talking about them, and nobody likes getting hit by strays. Because when a chick says, "Oh, that's some small dick energy. That's some small dick, 5 foot, no hairline, doesn't wipe his ass good, smelly ass energy," I'm like, what the fuck did I do? Am I right, guys? Right, guys? Right? But, on the flip side, I think something like fan service, as long as it's legal, is something that is inevitably in the DNA of anime. Like, I don't think that in general you can even separate them, really. And I think it's a completely fair thing to criticize. I don't know if it'll change, but that's something that's valid to voice, I'd say, if you're uncomfortable with it. If you keep watching it and expect it to not show up, I don't know if it's for you. Like, after the 150th tweet, you might just not like anime. Like, you look at the packaging and you see an ingredient that you don't like and you still eat it. I don't know. It's like your brother keeps buying a bag of chips that you like, but like he buys it all the time. He keeps buying it. He buys it every day, and every time he eats it, he's like, "Oh, this sucks." Dude, buy a different bag of chips, maybe. And if you're mad that these tourists are complaining, just come on, dude. What are you new? Japan does not give a fuck what we say. They're not going to change anything. If anything, maybe like the localization, like on Crunchyroll, is going to change. And what are you fucking, you're watching it on Crunchyroll? What are you, fucking casual? I'm just kidding. I use Crunchyroll too. Don't get mad at me. And so back to the anime men, they made a pretty cool response to the flack that they were getting. They actually went back and watched these classic OG animes and gave them like the proper time of day. They didn't watch it in 2x speed. They actually like analyzed all of them and kind of brought these classic influential animes to the forefront of their like 4 million subscribers, which I think is pretty cool. They saw that their previous video was kind of made in, you know, bad taste. They acknowledged that they were just kind of making a slop video and they're trying to meet a deadline. And most importantly, they gave my goat Doraemon the proper roses that it deserves. I think generally everybody thought this was a pretty good video. Like even Joey Bazinga was in the comments cheering them on. Like a lot of people thought this was a pretty well thought out video. Like, I think that this is really blown out of proportion, especially now since the anime man and the anime men, not to be confused with the anime, are all kumbaya, like all hunky-dory. It just makes you realize that as long as you're not dwelling in these shitholes, like none of this was an issue at all, really, ever, really. And if you find yourself, you know, getting angry, someone has the wrong opinion, you know, you're arguing about cartoon Punani, just remember,